5.3 example 1 here says if cosine of theta is equal to -3/5 and theta is in quadrant 2, find the exact value of cosine of 2 theta and sine of 2 theta. Well, let's look. So first it says to find cosine of 2 theta. Well, we have 3 different equations we can choose from, right? For cosine of 2 theta. So look at what they gave us. What do we know in this problem?
Cosine is double.
We know cosine of theta is equal to -3/5, right? So all we know is cosine, correct? So when I'm going through my cosine of 2 theta formulas up here, the first one says cosine squared minus sine squared. Do I know sine?
No.
I could find it if I had to, right? So we could use that, but I'm going to have to do more work. So I'm going to check and see if there's something better. The second one says 1 minus 2 sine squared. Again, I don't know sine. I could find it, but I'm going to have to work to find it, correct? I'm going across. You see where it says cosine of 2x at the very top in the middle there? I'm going through that formula up there. Now the last option there at the end says 2 cosine squared of x minus 1. We know cosine, don't we? So that's the one that I would personally use because I'm not going to have to go find sine. So I'm going to use that cosine of 2 theta is equal to 2 cosine squared of theta minus 1. The only thing I did is the formula had an x. Our problem has a theta, so I changed it to theta.
So you wouldn't use the cosine 2x equals. Where are you looking? The other.
Okay.
It's different problems?
No. All right, so let's look back up here at our notes. Up here in the top. Do you see this right here?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you see where it says cosine of 2x? That's like my cosine of 2 theta. So, but there's 3 different options here that we can use. We could use this first one, cosine squared minus sine squared, but I don't know sine in that problem, do I? I could find it, but I don't want to if I don't have to. The second option I have is right here where it says 1 minus 2 sine squared. Again, I don't know sine, so I don't want to have to find it if I don't have to. And the third option here is 2 cosine squared minus 1. But we know cosine, don't we? So that's why I chose that one to use. Are we okay with that?
So let's say it was cosine 3x, or 3 theta, we wouldn't be able to use the.
No, we couldn't use this formula for that. We would have to do something else, which don't worry, we'll get to. All right, so back to our problem here. So everybody's good with why I chose this one? We see where it came from now? I'm sorry, I just thought y'all were with me there.
I just thought it was one big equation.
Okay, but you see how it's 3 different options, really. They just wrote it going across. A lot of times we see it written down, and I don't know why they didn't write it going down. It's 3 different options, though. All right, so we got 2. We know cosine. What was cosine? Squared minus 1. And can we work that out?
Yes.
Of course we can. So I did my x squared. So I squared the top and the bottom of the fraction. And I'm going to multiply by 2. Just going to give me 18 over 25 minus 1. And then I'm going to subtract that 1. And so remember that 1 is the same as 25 over 25, correct? And so 18 minus that 25 that's on top is a -7 over the common denominator of 25. And so there is our solution. So let's look at B, or part 2 here. It says we want to find sine of 2 theta. Well, if you go back up to the top, under your double angle formulas, you see sine of 2x is equal to 2 sine of x cosine of x. So I know this is going to equal 2 sine of theta cosine of theta. So unfortunately, we don't know sine of theta, do we? But we can find it, can't we? How are we going to find it? Well, yeah, we know cosine, but we also know that sine squared plus cosine squared equals 1, right? And so we're after sine, and cosine was negative 3/5. So I'm just going to algebraically work this one out. And so I got sine of theta is equal to positive or negative 4/5. But which one am I going to use? Why the positive? There we go. Good job. All right, so yes, we're in quadrant 2, and we know that sine is positive in quadrant 2. So we're going to use that sine is equal to 4/5. All right, once you got that, you can plug in. So we got 2 times sine, which is 4/5, times cosine, which is negative 3/5. And so I'm just going to, we're multiplying with fractions, so just multiply all the tops. Multiply all the bottoms, the denominators. And there's our solution.